welcome to Source Material, a podcast where we tell stories from our real lives and then turn it into role-playing games. It's kind of a combination of long-form improv, collaborative storytelling, and maybe just a hint of group therapy. Although we haven't really done that yet.
No, not really. I feel like just vaguely it's an undercurrent, you know?
Well, I'm Emma, and today is my day to be sharing a story. I don't think I'll be sharing a therapy-worthy story today, but we'll work up to that, you know? We'll build a relationship, and then eventually you guys will hear the juice once all of our families have gotten tired of listening to the first episode and petered away.
In that case, you could probably do it now.
Whoa, savage. Oh my goodness. Emma, what have you prepared for us today?
Oh yeah, wait, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Emma.
Oh, that's right.
I'm Emma's husband, Nathan.
That's his formal title.
That's his formal title, his work title. I'm Maddie. I'm into either of them. But I am a they them, so as Nathan likes to say, we have one of each.
I do like to says that.
You do like to says that. You've says that at least once.
All right, so this week, Emma, you are going to be the one telling us a bit of a story, and then we'll go from there. So do you want to start off?
Yes. So as I was thinking back on stories, I realized how horrible my memory is. I was like trying to remember stories from childhood, and I realized that I mostly remember like people telling me things or like vague moments in time where like an image flashes, but like I don't actually remember the plot line of like a lot of stories that people have told about my childhood, but this is one that I do remember, and it's a fun one. It's a great memory. So I was with my family. I was pretty young. I want to say I was in like first grade or something like that. And I was with my family at the horse races because my family likes to gamble on horse races. It's a fun activity, brings people together.
Inspiration for Grandma Mo, I think.
Oh yes, because you mentioned that last that your grandma did like to gamble, and Nathan, as your husband, really took that in stride, and I'm glad we're examining it.
People would wear fun hats. It's a whole event. I wouldn't say high class, necessarily.
It's sinful is what it is.
Yes. I'm a vegetarian in reparation for the horse races. Sorry, horses.
So you've never eaten horse.
I don't condone. I've never eaten a single horse. So yeah, we would go to the horse races. And this is my first memory of that. I don't remember who all was there. So anyone who happens to be listening who does remember this story, if I get details wildly wrong, that's because it turns out I don't remember stories from my childhood very well, but I do remember this one.
Hey, if you're hating on Emma's story, memory is fallible.
Fallible!
Just so you know. Never remembering an event in its truth. You're always remembering your last time remembering it.
So we were at the horse races, and I don't think that they had started yet, or we were like in the middle at a concession stand or something. And I was with my family and I was all excited. And we were in line to get pretzels or something like that at this outdoor vendor. And everyone was just talking and standing around, and I noticed something on the ground. And it was a rolled up bill. And I picked it up thinking, oh yay, I found $1. And I started unrolling this bill. And I was like, oh, maybe $10. And I kept on rolling, and there was another 0. And I had found a $100 bill on the ground, which when you're 6 years old makes you like a billionaire.
That's a lot at 6.
Oh my god, for a 6-year-old, that's fucking mansion money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
For me, I'm just thinking about how many 5-cent candies I could have bought.
And everyone kind of froze, like, what should we do? You know, for a second, I think we were like, should we ask if someone lost this? But obviously, if you ask, hey, did someone lose a $100 bill? Everyone's going to say yes, especially at the horse races. Like,
You gamblers lose this free money?
Yeah. So I had to figure out what to do with it. And one of the options that was floated was like, hey, we can gamble this for you. If you want to pick a horse, I want to say this was my uncle. So my uncle Tim, Nathan knows Uncle Tim. He's a classic, fun uncle character. Loves the horse races, likes to bet on horses based on their name or other silly characteristics like that. Likes to keep the party going. If you're in town, Uncle Tim's gonna buy you a beer. He's that kind of guy. Mm-hmm. So we got Uncle Tim as a character. There's 3 of us, so I'll use 3 characters. We have me as a character, little Emma. We got Uncle Tim as a character, but we'll give him a different name.
How cool of a cool uncle is Tim? Is Tim cool enough not to sue you?
Yeah, Tim's not out here trying to sue me. Tim, you know, side story. I think the last time I was at the horse races, I discovered mead as an alcohol. It's a side story. But to give you context for Tim and horse races as characters, as places. It was like, I'm trying to remember the context. What, you know, when you like have like tickets to drink a certain amount of alcohol, what do they call that?
Drink tickets, I think.
Yeah. So I had like 6 drink tickets, which is already a lot. I'm in college. And so my alcohol tolerance is like higher than it is now. I can maybe have fun and handle 6 beers. Yeah, we're at the horse races and I have these 6 drink tickets and I discover mead as an alcohol. It tastes so delicious. And I'm like, whoa, I could have 6 of these instead of 6 of beers, not knowing at the time that the alcohol content of mead is like at least twice the alcohol content of beer. So I had the equivalent of like 12 beers, and I think I even like found another ticket and had more. So by the end of the night, this is Thanksgiving, by the way. This is Thanksgiving with my family.
Let's go to the horse races, guys.
Thanksgiving, the day of excess, you are discovering mead for the first time, like a Viking.
While at a horse race.
And I threw up into my Thanksgiving dinner. In front of the entire family, I was just throwing up mead in like literally into the plate.
Oh God! I'm glad this isn't your main story because this did not go where I wanted it to go.
And for Christmas, Tim gave me a mead making machine. Like you
put honey and fruit and water in or whatever.
Yes,
and
like a mead brewer, which we have used and is fun. Thank you, Uncle Tim. But that's just context for Tim as a character, and I guess me as a character, and horse races as a character.
Wait, I feel like I remember mead at your wedding somehow, or somebody bringing mead as a joke.
It's an ongoing joke in the family. And also we know someone who makes mead.
That's great.
But anyways, little 6-year-old Emma doesn't know what to do with this $100 bill. She's had 0 beers because she's 6 years old. The same can't necessarily be said for the adults around her. So, you know, Uncle Tim is offering to help her spend this, you know? And my dad, who is the opposite of Uncle Tim, who's a very reserved, ungambling character. This is not his side of the family that has the traditions of going to the horse races. Along for the ride, offers to open me a bank account.
2 choices.
So there was a path ahead of me. I could open a savings account and deposit my $100 bill as a 6-year-old.
Oh my God.
Into a bank account, or I could spend it on the horse races. And I'm ashamed to say that I went with my dad's. I think I was such a lame child. And I looked up to my dad so much. I wanted to be good.
It's so cute.
So I opened a little savings account. But, like, I regret that now. I think maybe this is something that we want to change.
The correct choice as a 6-year-old is definitely to spend that 100 on the horse races.
I can't believe the Oreo thing they do with kids where, you know, you either you have an Oreo and if you eat it right away, you're going to be a bad kid, or if you wait to eat it, you're going to be a good kid, is nothing compared to your bet on a horse or get a bank account decision as a 6-year-old.
Yeah. But if you know me today, like I'm eating that marshmallow right away.
She's
Like
the
I'm
opposite.
the opposite of what this story portrays.
She's a full like dessert first, and when you question her on it, she says, an asteroid could hit.
An
So
asteroid could hit at any
eat the thing you like
moment.
now.
I don't know when this changed in my life.
Maybe it was this.
Maybe it was this. Maybe 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 I got too boring too soon and I like had to switch in another direction or something. I don't know. So after all this, my Uncle Tim does end up betting, and there is a horse called Family Reunion. And we're having a family reunion, so he says, you know what? I'm gonna bet on the family reunion. And the odds were against this horse. No one really was, the only people betting on family reunion were the people actively at a family reunion at a horse race, which it turns out is not a lot of people. And he won so much money, he wouldn't even tell anyone how much money he won.
Oh, that's so weird.
Or so little, who knows, but that horse won.
Yeah.
And he
So if you had put your $100 on it, you would have been a little.
I would have won big. He won so much money. He wouldn't even tell anyone. But he was buying dinner that night.
How responsible would you say you have been as a person? This is the group therapy part. I'm getting incredibly invasive.
I definitely value a baseline of stability, but beyond that, not terribly responsible. I don't know. Nathan,
Okay.
what would you say?
Oh, how responsible is my wife? This doesn't feel like a trap. I think that's probably a good assessment. I think you want to have your major life things sorted, but beyond that, you kind of don't like having things in boxes.
What about like if you were to quit your day job and just focus on making art? How many months of rent would you need to have stored away to be willing to do that?
My art would sell like crazy and I'd be a billionaire, so...
Rude question.
Right, my bad. So sorry.
Also, is this question like if you're single or if you're married? Because I feel like if you have a spouse who's also working, that changes things.
Okay, Nathan loses his job. Do you commit to selling art for a living?
Absolutely not. No, we we definitely need two incomes in this economy. There's a level of
I think what they're asking is like if let's say you weren't married, for example, how much savings would you need before you say, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and try to do something else?
Yes. In terms of like a different level, like it's not like an immediate choice. It's like your childhood choice is like, do I use this windfall to be adventurous or to be safe? And this is more like a point of safety do you need to have to take like a big adventurous leap with your whole life, you know?
I would need a lot. I don't think that I'm a big leap. Like I said, I think I need to have I would need like 6 months or something of safety and security to go on that big of a leap, I think.
Okay, honestly, fair. That's not like I feel like some people would say like 2 years, and like I could never do that.
Yeah.
I feel like 6 months to a year feels reasonable to me as well. If I was going to do something.
I think that's reasonable.
But back to the story. So you opened up so you decided, pocketed the money to open up a bank account. Was there any like family reaction from this or anything along those lines?
So my dad is someone who's a little bit cheeky, who's 99% extremely conservative is the wrong word, but like reserved. Like he's not out here making uncalculated risks kind of thing. But he does love a very calculated risk. So I think there was at least a small part of him that was disappointed that I took his advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that there was a non-insignificant part of Tim that was relieved that I took my dad's advice.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because he wants to be the fun uncle and stuff, like, but you also want the best for the child. You want to like see them go on that like saving a marshmallow for later path or something. Anyways,
it's interesting.
That is actually very interesting. Just as a character thing, where like the good angel on your shoulder secretly wants you to be a little bad, and the bad angel on your shoulder wants the best for you deep down.
I think both of them are more in the middle, but like they, like everyone has a
You're playing
family
your role in the
dynamic,
moment. Yeah,
and I
get
think
it.
that they were playing their role in the family dynamic.
That's very interesting.
Another side note, I had my 21st birthday at a saloon in South Dakota with my entire family. It was also a funeral.
But you're using all your stories.
Well, this isn't a childhood story.
I was about to say that's adorable, and then you said it was a funeral, and it was so sad.
It was like my great aunt. Like it was sad, but it was also like, she was probably 80 something. I don't know. Doesn't make it unsad. It's just delete this.
No, it's fine.
ah.
Oh my god. Well, tell me what happened with the bank account. Like, where did that bank account continue to exist?
Still, wait, no. Actually, I closed it when I married Nathan, and we opened our joint bank account. But I had that same bank account until we got married and combined our finances. Does that answer your question?
Tell me more about your Uncle Tim. Yeah, I'd say so.
Cool. Uncle Tim. He's a fun, rambunctious guy who I think enjoys being... We have a big family. He has 4 brothers and sisters, so he's, like the middle child of 5. And, I have a bunch of cousins. I don't even know how many cousins I have, like, a lot of cousins, maybe like 20 cousins on that side of the family or something. And he has no children. He's never been married. And he's really enjoys just like bringing people together and bringing out like fun and mischief in people and being like the fun uncle,
That makes sense. That tracks for a fun uncle.
Yeah. He tells a lot of stories that like may or may not be true.
Oh.
That doesn't matter to the story. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is like to have fun,
Right, so Tim's kind of an unreliable narrator. What about your dad?
There's a lot of... I could tell a million my dad's stories. I'm sure he'll be a reoccurring character in my childhood stories because there's some really great ones. He's a wonderful guy with some eccentricities. He prints every email that he has to read them on a piece of paper, and his entire office is just like a hoarder nest of papers.
And he's a lawyer, so he doesn't get like, a couple of emails.
Yes, he is like neck deep in files in his office. Like I said, he's a very smart and successful person. But hoarder levels of printed emails just stacked up along with other documents.
For him, it's organized in a way that it works for him. But I remember going to his office once and just like feeling a rising anxiety at just like the amount of boxes of paperwork and papers and everything else that just surrounded him.
Yeah. Someone once described the experience of talking to my dad as being in a job interview where you're never sure how you're doing. And I would say that's accurate. Even, I don't know, that feeling somewhat carries across where he's like a very level-headed, constant poker face type person. You can text him, whether it's something very simple, you can text him like a long, emotional text message. He'll always respond with like K period. And it's not a mind game.
Okay,
that's
terrifying.
That's just his genuine response. He's very honest. I literally don't think I can ever remember my dad lying once in my entire life. Like, he does not exaggerate stories. He's a very straight-shooting, honest, level-headed person who does not add flavor. Tim's all, like, zest and flavor. My dad has his own, like, little... Like, he likes to go have his own fun adventures. He doesn't mind... small things like trespassing for a fun hike or something like that, but in general, he's a very like rule-abiding, straight-shooting person.
Ooh, and we've got your dad for trespassing. That's very interesting, though. And Tim and your brother are brothers. So okay, who's older?
No, Tim is my mom's.
Different side.
Different side.
Oh right.
So yeah, Tim is Emma's mom's brother.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What else? Well, I mean, what genre is this? I think the setting of it being at a horse race is so vital. I think it probably needs to be at an actual horse race.
I feel like there's a lot of different ways we could go with it though, because like there's a lot of different races people bet on. There's like NASCAR stuff, there's like dog races, there's
I feel like Maddie's right in that horse racing has a very specific, like, I don't know, cultural connotation that like NASCAR doesn't. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's not like a place to go at NASCAR and be like, I'm gambling on this car.
Is there an old-timey, like, Roman Empire or whatever version of horse races where people are, like, gambling on some shenanigans?
Like chariot races?
Yeah, like chariot
Yeah.
racing and other things.
I mean, that's kind of fun. I think as a setting across like any timeline, it's fun and interesting because you get like high class people and low class people, in quotes, people with hella money that are just there for fun, and then people that are like, God, I need this fucking horse to win. Like, please.
And little girls with a $100 bill.
Who don't end up betting on the horse.
Or do. We'll find out.
Nice.
It's true. We are setting the precedent of like, instead of it's source material or come on here to fix something you did wrong as a child.
Oh my gosh. So I just finished editing it, but I was listening to I was editing the last episode. And my favorite thing, I don't know if you were doing this, Maddie, but I know that I was, and it sounds like you were as well, is you were like,
Yeah.
oh, these are the different options that your life could be if you chose to stay here. But it's a risk. What do you want to choose, little Mitch? And I love Mitch just being like, 100%, screw everything else, in with the sorting door.
Wow.
It's like, this is me as an adult standing by my childhood self.
Yeah, exactly. This is me being on my childhood self side, being like, no, he was right.
I had not really thought about that, but I do like that a lot. Like, do we do Roman? What time periods interest you, Emma? It's your story.
Well, I want to hear your guys' input. I feel like I picked the space one last time.
We could still do like American horse race, but I feel like the time of horse racing at its height was like earlier. Do you know what I mean? It could be like, I don't know, some southern.
Hey there, doll. We're going to the horse races.
I could not tell you a year that horse racing was particularly popular, but that's
No.
probably good because we don't want to put ourselves into a specific time frame anyway, because that we're sure to get it wrong.
Was there horse racing in like Victorian England?
I mean, you gotta assume.
We could.
Are you gonna make us do accents then?
We could a Sweeney
It's a
Todd.
hard yes for me, Emma. It's a hard yes for me. What do you want to do? You want to do Middlemarch? You want to do Pride and Prejudice? You want to do Jane Eyre? What do you want to do?
Whoa.
All right, so setting,
let's see.
we're deciding on some sort of vague back in the day
Yeah.
England.
Peaky Blinders type of shit, right? Like no specific year, again, because I don't want to get trapped.
Unfortunately, I've seen too much Peaky Blinders. I know what year that is. No, I'm joking.
But like London,
Oh no.
industrial, smoggy London era. Eh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, real life or like fantasy world. Like, are there elves and stuff? That's an important one.
We could get like steampunk with it.
I was worried we'd go down this road eventually. I didn't think it would happen so soon.
Are you anti-steampunk, Matthew? I didn't know this about you.
We don't have to steampunk. That was just the first genre that I thought of with England.
Hold on, I want to know why Maddie doesn't like steampunk.
I'm not anti-steampunk. Like I'm ashamed because a little part of me thinks it's kind of cool. But you can't you can't get too into steampunk or the internet will get you, you know?
We're on an RPG podcast that we started in 2024. How much further
no.
is there to people?
No one is safe, Emma. No one is safe. There are invisible lines anywhere.
So, not steampunk.
I don't know. I was hearing that the reason Maddie was saying not steampunk was that they secretly wanted to do steampunk.
Shut up. No, I didn't. What the fuck?
I feel like I vote non-fantasy as my personal one. Would be just like
regular old
England.
That's fair. No, I hear that. I agree. What's the vibe of this? Like, is this like a big city or is it small town?
Let's say that it's somewhere near the coast outside of London. And like people maybe come from London to this on special occasions, but it's not like the big city. Let's say that this is such a big deal. This town, the main industry of this town is this horse racing grounds. Like people come from all over just to go to the horse races here.
Ooh, I like that. Horse racing's got to be high stakes. Emma, will you play little you or whatever version of you? And do you want Tim and your dad characters to be related to you also in the story?
I'm down to play whatever. I think it would be my preference to play someone other than myself, actually, but I'm open to any of the above.
Which would you rather, Tim or your dad?
I want you guys to pick. I want you guys to pick first, and then it'll be whoever you don't pick.
Interesting.
But age-wise, okay, let me think about relationship, because you were asking that.
Yeah, true.
I feel like it should be something, it doesn't have to be like dad and uncle, but it should be like something where like it's two men who have some kind of authority or you look up to them or some sort of something there. Like you're two bosses or something else like that. Because I feel like that part of the relationship at least should stay.
Okay, spitballing, throwing this out here. We could do like a Good Omens type thing where it's like someone and they're like actually talking to a devil and an angel, and it could be like we could have that type of mythology going on.
That can be interesting.
My first thought was, and these are not mutually exclusive. These could both be true. Emma's I'm about to say, which is like, one of the, if our main character is a young street rapscallion who grew up around the horse races and, has had to fight to survive and has become a very resourceful, quick kind of street rat, sort of like Aladdin pre-genie, then you have a good employer, like somebody who will pay you $5 at the dock to put in a hard day's work, and then you got like your bookie employer so you're kind of your character being pulled in two directions morally.
Oh, I like that. That sort of widens out. And then instead of necessarily just like $100, what are you going to spend it on? Like one of these paths is closing. You have to choose one. You can no longer choose both. Like you've got your stand-up business that you've been working for some guy, and then you've got your criminal one, and for some reason you can't do both anymore.
Yeah, okay. What would those positions be? So like one would be like a bookie or whatever, a gambling.
I think they should both work at the horse race. So yeah, it should be like a bookie, and then I don't know what's like a legitimate, like you clean the stables. It's a boring job, but it pays you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the dudes that works the horses,
Yeah, like you take care of them, you clean them off or whatever. And it's not a fun job, but it pays you steady or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you also do sketchy stuff for this bookie.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you pretend like you're going to bet a whole bunch on some horse to make it seem like that's the horse you should really bet on. And then people do, and they lose or something.
Ooh, and maybe they even give me inside information where they're like, I heard this horse is feeling really good today.
Oh, yeah. If you're the bad guy's giving you tips on stuff, but you don't know whether to believe it or not, because sometimes the stories Tim tells are true, and sometimes
family reunion wins, and sometimes doesn't.
So somebody's got to be rigging these horse races.
Have like the bookie, Timmy Two Toes or whatever his name is.
Timmy have two toes?
I don't know. It's a good gangster name, Timmy Two Toes.
Is it?
Does Timmy have only two toes?
That's for you to decide. So he's running some sort of operation?
Ooh, we could tie meat in. Maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe Timmy's given some of these horses some mead-soaked carrots. Maybe they're a little bit off their game sometimes.
I like that.
Ooh, because Timmy Two Toes doubles as a rum runner.
Okay, we don't have to do Timmy Two Toes also.
Yeah, let's not do Timmy Two Toes. But Lil Emma.
We've got to do Timmy Two Toes.
No, Emma hates it apparently.
Lil Emma's working in the stables and sometimes takes extra money to slip the horses the meated up carrots.
She's tying it together.
Yeah.
Nice.
But sometimes,
That's
hey,
great.
sometimes the drunk horses do great, but like usually it makes them worse. But it's a gamble. You never know.
Occasionally, a drunk horse just runs faster than it's ever run before.
Yeah, 2% of horses give them alcohol makes them twice as fast. Actually, it's rare.
Why is this horse called the Drunken Fist?
So then your dad is maybe it can be like a person who took you in a little bit, like he runs the stables and pays you to take care of the horses, take care of the stables and everything else.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Okay, so now we gotta select who's playing who, though.
Well, I was gonna say that the idea of a young rapscallion does pique my interest, but Emma, I want to give you another fair shake to play this version of yourself, because last time I almost stole it from Mitch, and I don't want to do that.
No, I think I'm less invested, and I think I've changed my mind. I don't necessarily want to change the course of this. I kind of like the always wondering what if aspect of it, you know?
I see.
All right, so Maddie will be little Emma.
But also can be up to whoever plays that character. I'm not terribly attached to this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also fun to have, as a husband and wife, you guys kind of play two sides of a moral conflict.
All right, so I'm going to call Uncle Tim.
Oh, I'm the boring stable owner here.
I mean, wow, way to call your dad boring.
I think we can all agree that in the context of this story, my dad is the boring character.
I don't know, Emma,
Yes.
it's your job to elevate the material, no small parts, etc.
Wow, no small parts, only small actors. Only small ideas of your dad.
Right. I'm in. And, oh my gosh, okay, another story. This is one that he's proud of. This is one that he has announced to the world. Is that he believes that everyone is wrong. People say, that on their deathbed they never wish they worked more. He doesn't think that's true. He thinks that people on their deathbed often wish that they had worked much more. And that's a true belief that
He is put into a Christmas letter and sent to everybody. When I first was dating Emma, I went to we were at her house, and it was around Christmas, and so she had just gotten the Christmas letter that her family sends out to everybody. And her dad writes the whole thing, and it's amazing every single year. But this year, it started out being people often say on their deathbed that you wish that you hadn't worked more. Well, I think that it's important to get things done and do things, and that's what working is.
But more eloquently.
So who wishes that they hadn't done stuff? Not me. But yes, much more better put than
That's
that.
incredible.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Every year.
I need the man in real life. I really do.
Now we've got to go and pick up some stats and all that jazz for these characters, right?
You wrote Timmy Two Toes. We need to think of better. You're not allowed.
Sorry, but if it's my character, I can name him Timmy Two Toes.
Timmy Two Toes. I hate it.
Unfortunately, Timmy Two Toes is
Yeah, I
canon.
wasn't even sold on it until you hated it so much, and now I love it. Sorry.
What's a good old-timey British man name?
Reginald.
Yeah.
Reginald.
Though that's sort of a fancy name. I'm picturing, if you're the stable owner guy, I don't know. Reginald feels too fancy a name.
It's a stable job.
That was right into the microphone. Something weird that Bainbridge.
I like Bainbridge. What do you think of him? What's a good name? It's your character.
What was the name of that one side of the family in our last podcast?
The Dolbergs?
I could be Dahlberg.
No, it's okay. Mitch called out the Dahlbergs at the end.
Oh yeah, he did.
I think my name is going to be Dahlberg.
Dahlberg. Okay.
That's your first name?
I don't go by my first name. I don't go by my first name. I gotta work on my British. Well, before we do the next one, I'll work on my accent.
It's better if they're bad. I know Nathan's gonna walk on here and be like, as a visiting American.
Yeah, listen. Oof. No, I'll be a little crime British man.
Okay, you little crime British man.
I'll combine them. Dolbridge.
Dolbridge?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so we got Dolbridge, Lil Emma, And Timmy Two Toes, of course.
Actually, I love the name Timmy Two Toes. Reverse psychology.
Too late.
Reverse psychology.
Oh, she got us. Deep down, I always wanted to be called Timmy Two Tone because I was a great singer.
So we can just go around. For Emma, we'll start with your character, Dullbridge. So we've got Charm, Brains, Brawn, Grit, and Deafness. So what are you thinking as far as those stats?
I'm gonna go grit first, and then brains. Those are both quite high.
Yeah, I see that for your dad. Okay, some Brains.
Yeah, I see that for your dad.
I did say it like that, didn't I? Okay, so Brains is D10. What's next?
What is deafness again?
Basically Dexterity. Maybe I'll just change it to Dexterity. I don't know. Names are hard.
Ooh, controversial.
I'll go dex next.
Okay, D8 for Dexterity, and then Charm, and what's the last one?
Brawn.
Brawn.
We'll go brawn and then charm.
Cool. All right, and then Maddie as Lil Emma. What age are we doing for that character?
Ooh,
I feel like
that's a good question.
teenage or like really, really early adult would be the way to go.
We also could make me like an Emmett or something. It makes more sense to be a stable boy in this time period.
I think we can be kind of like we did in the pirate airship. We can be an androgynous. You know, is it an Emma? An Emmett? Who knows? That might get complicated though. Damn, I can't believe you guys are making me choose my gender.
Cancelled off the air immediately.
I've been spending a lot of time trying not to do that. Let's have Emmett be a stable boy, probably. Or no, actually, let's have it be a young girl. Let's stick with Emma's story.
We could even do the classic young girl disguises herself as a young boy to work as a stable boy. I don't know if we want to add.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, Emma. Thank you. Correct.
That's a
Wow,
clip.
that gave me gender euphoria. Can we do a bit where I sing that Mulan song about when will the mirror show what I feel inside?
An important song.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Maddie, what do you think little Emma's stats are? Or, Emma stats are?
I would say probably, I think it's got to be deafness first. Because I think little Emma's gritty, but I think mostly she's got to be deft.
Makes sense. All right, and then Grit next, you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we got Brains.
And then Bronze is definitely last. So next is Charm.
Charm at D8. All right.
What are my last two options?
Brains and Brawn.
Oh, yeah, Brains, then Brawn. Brawn is last for sure. Actually, switch Charm and Brains. I think Brains better than Charm.
Okay.
She's got to use her wits.
Sounds good. And for me, I think Timmy Two Toes.
Ugh.
Yeah, you can do it every time.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think he's pretty charming.
True.
I think he's got to talk his way out of a lot of situations.
And into him.
You know it. What is your uncle? He's a very smart guy. So I'm going to make Brains D10.
And he pretends to be less smart than he is for entertainment's sake.
I think I'm going to make this guy older. So I'm going to have his deafness be, bad. I'm going to have that be his D4. He's an older, slow guy. Brawn, D6. And then Grit, D8.
He's an older, slow guy.
Which Tim isn't, but I don't know. I'm just going with this guy. Timmy Two Toes is. He's only got 2 toes. He's slow. I keep just looking at Emma's eyes after I say his name. We also have to do the adjective traits.
Oh, can I take a look?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We also have to do wants and fears.
So wait, we pick 3? What is it?
So 2 to 3, but you have to at least get one of each. You can't get only the positive ones.
Okay. I'm gonna go self-sacrificing, rule follower.
Those are both very accurate.
I'll go cool under pressure.
One of these is literally gambler.
I know, there's a lot of good gambling ones. We got lucky.
Well, Maddie, maybe you should take lucky since you're finding $100 bills or whatever equivalent we're gonna do.
I think I'm doing lucky, quick thinker, and cool under pressure, just by their name.
Nice. For your... Okay. I'm going to go with intuitive. I guess gambler. The guy is running this whole thing. I think easygoing.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Tim's a fun, easygoing guy as well. And then we gotta, like you were saying, Maddie, we gotta do the wants, fears, and then like what methods your character would usually use to achieve that want or whatever. I think Timmy Two Toes wants to retire. I think he wants to, he's getting older. He had a lot of fun, but he wants to make enough that he doesn't have to keep on doing this.
Word. Fair enough, honestly.
I think related to that, he fears like he's too old for this lifestyle. Like he's lost a step, and like the younger people coming up are gonna take him out. I think that's one of the things he's worried about, and so he kind of is desperate to get out safely.
Which means he'll probably lash out, and he feels he's made insecure by somebody like Emmett, who's quick on her feet.
Exactly, but also a way for him to, make some money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think his main ways of doing this is like charming and schmoozing. I think he spends a lot of time talking to people that are of like a higher class or whatever than he would be maybe expected to be interacting with. But he's a very like talkative, schmoozy guy. He'll use like, violence in sort of his dealings if he needs to. But in general, he just enjoys talking to people, making them feel like they're important. And because he knows that that's how you get people to do what you want them to do. What about you, Em?
Wants and fears. Dolbridge is a stand-up guy. He has taken Lil Emma under his wing. Doesn't 100% believe, but does see potential and wants what's best for them. And fear. What does Dolbridge fear?
I figured out what. I don't want to interrupt Emma's thought, but I think I figured out that Lil Emma wants a family.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Dolbridge fears a general sense of chaos overtaking his life/stables. He wants a nice,
Same Dolbridge.
tightly run ship, and doesn't want anything to get too chaotic. Any devilish influences, such from the likes of Timmy Two Toes, are not to be tolerated.
Nice.
Slay. I hear that.
What way, is there a way you would normally go about, I don't know, this one seems less important, but helping Lil Emma or getting that thing that you want? What are your means and methods?
Logic. 100% logic.
Okay.
Easy answer. I'm trying to think about what Lil Emma fears, but I don't know yet.
Any insights, Emma, into what Lil Emma would have feared?
Yeah, what did Lil Emma fear? What made Lil Emma go with the bank account? That's the central question.
So that could be more the want, of the want of a family, the acceptance of your dad.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting question. Did you do it because you wanted to be like your dad? Or did you do it because you feared risk?
I don't think I had a genuine fear of risk so much as that I was seeking approval in that moment to be seen as a good and stable kid and socially rewarded for that.
Okay, so maybe with little Emma, because she's young and a woman maybe pretending to be a guy, that's part of it is oh, I'm only 6, but I want to be seen as older and responsible, so I'm going to act in a way I think an older and responsible person should. And I'm going to invest this $100.
But also, this is your character, and I want you to make it can be entirely different than what's true of me.
True.
Make it your own, Maddie.
I think
on my own end, I do think that there is kind of a conflicting FOMO there, though, of also fearing missing out on winning big or something. That could be exciting too.
I'm blanking. And Nathan, your thoughts. Nathan, I need to hear what you think.
I don't know. In the new context of the situation that we're doing, I feel like a fear could be related to just the fear of having to make a choice, or the fear of setting your life really hard down one path or the other.
The fear of stagnation.
or the fear that like once you pick one of these two mentors to follow, you're locking into that.
Oh, yeah, because especially like little street urchin storyline, you're quite used to being alone, and what you fear then is eventually being trapped at some point. So I
Yeah.
think being trapped, yeah.
And the want was family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, family, which is quintessential. Like, did you guys read Boxcar Kids as children? That came
Hell
up at my office the other day.
yeah. Boxcar Kids was
Yeah,
great.
I did not know.
Boxcar Kids for life. And I did not. Me and my sisters used to play Boxcar Kids, which is weird to kind of like role play poverty in that way as kids. I I had forgotten that at some point the Boxcar Kids get like a rich uncle who like takes the boxcar onto his property and like takes care of them. Which completely changes the tone of the story from like Boxcar Kids being family and like making it together to like somebody will come save you if you're having a bad time.
I've never read these books, but what a weird change for the series to take. I wonder if that's like a note or the guy was
I
just
know.
like, I'm tired of writing this sad story.
I could see either one. Well, that feels pretty good. Anything else that you guys are thinking about?
Oh wait, did you do the means to get what you want or whatever?
Oh, right.
Oh, what means does little Emma use? Probably dude, probably a lot more trickery and thievery than like she wants, she has to sneak. That she's in that world, She steals food to live, Do you even know that life? Come on. Okay, here, that's gonna bleed perfectly into the outro. It's like, oi, I'm little Emma, and most times I clean the stables for Mr. Dulbridge, but Timmy Two Tones, he runs this horse racing track. I do what he says come race time. Let's see what happens this weekend in the Cliftover stables. Okay, my name is Maddie. You can find me on Instagram at matt.kok. Sometimes I write things. I might put out some poems, and I think we're working on an Instagram for us called at Source Material Crew. So keep an eye out for that.
Mm-hmm. And then I can be found on various platforms, Instagram and others, at Nathan Who Writes.
And I, Emma, can be found at mshineart on Instagram.
She did our wonderful logo.
And I have my first commission for a painting that I'm at least 50% sure isn't a scam. So hit me up.
And our intro and outro music was done by Keikoa Kato. So thank you very much for that. And we'll see you all next week. Or no, you won't. We'll hear you. You'll hear us.
Hear you all next week.
You'll hear us next week. I'll cut that.
Nice.
We'll see all of your download data. Not really.
We don't like that. Or I haven't yet. I keep on getting emails. It's like 10 people have listened to this
that's
episode.
what I mean.
And I'm like, fun.
Yep.
Okay, here, that's gonna bleed perfectly into the outro. It's like, oi, mate. That's not it. um, hold on. I've been on the I can't do Leprechaun. I can't do Leprechaun.
You've had it before.
Cheeky little lad. That's me. And my name's Emmett. I clean the horse stables for Mr.
Bridge.
Dulbridge. Yeah, I clean the stables for Mr. Dulbridge. And I steal to eat. I've got nothing going. What choice morally will I make? No, that's not it. I'm a scrappy young lad, and something crazy is going down at the horse race this weekend. Everybody's in town. The papers won't talk about it. I mean, no, the papers won't shut up about it.
The papers won't talk about it.
The newspapers won't tell you this, but something crazy's happening at the horse races this weekend. No, that's Harry Potter. I'm getting into Harry Potter. I'm little Emmett, and I cleaned the stables for Mr. Ballbridge. Timmy Two Toes has got my neck by a noose because he says I've got to do something this weekend that I don't know if I want to do. Okay, no, that's a little. All of these are so close. Okay, hold on.
I feel like you're bailing too soon.
Okay, I'm gonna do all of it.
Woo!
Yay!
Good
Man.
stuff.
Goofy.
All right,
That was very goofy.
Well, that's okay. It's about to be a million goofy accents next time.
That's true. That's very true.